Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. When I last left you guys, we had one more soul to grab in the top floor area, and that being this here, the Rubicant. I'm really hoping he decides to drop it sooner rather than later, but as you all have seen so far with my experience with soul dropping, it's a hit or miss situation, really. That's actually not a bad situation here. I can get two of them at once, as long as they don't kill me in the process. Ow. Even with all this armor and how high of a level I am, they still hit like an absolute truck, and that's what's really annoying about these guys. Is they're, ugh, so annoying. Their soul is actually very unique in that it's used a lot for speed runs. I believe I did mention that once upon a time. They dropped something. I didn't see what it was. That's alright. Anyway, their soul is used for speed running, particularly in the boss rush mode, because time actually is very important in the boss rush mode. What their soul does is, wow, holy crap, I just turned my brain off for a second. What their soul does is it increases your strength the less health you have. And so a very common strategy to use in the boss rush mode is you actually start that mode. You have all of your weapons and souls available to you, but you don't have anything in the way of items except for, like, I think a potion or two. Whoops. But you also have some tasty meat, and you have some rotten meat, or spoiled meat. I think it's spoiled milk, actually. You have tasty meat, and you have spoiled milk. And you may be wondering, what in the crap would you want spoiled milk for in a boss rush mode? Well, a very common strategy is to drink the spoiled milk, which puts you down to 1 hit point, regardless of whatever else you have, and then use the Rubicant Soul, because it scales up with how much health you're missing, and obviously when you're only at 1 health, you're missing almost all of it. So what people will do is equip Rubicant, drink the spoiled milk, and turn into an absolute wrecking ball. Like, we're talking killing bosses in 1 or 2 hits here. That being said, it is an incredibly risky strategy, because if you get so much as tickled, then you're just dead. And it relies very heavily on people being good at evading, obviously, getting the heck out of the way of attacks. And, man, these guys hit so hard. And it's really risky strategy, but I guess it pays off, because it lets you clear boss rush in, like, less than a minute if you're careful. But, sadly, I am not careful. I am not that good at this game, as evidenced by the fact that I have to use the best armor and weapons in the game just to have a reasonably decent shot at winning. I'm sure if I took the time to, you know, use less than optimal weapons and armor and whatnot, I could still win. It's just a matter of, well, it's kind of a waste of my time. I like a good challenge in a game, and I think there's plenty of challenge to be offered in this game already. Maybe not quite as much as I'd like, although if you want to change that, play on hard mode. Hard mode actually does make this game quite a bit more difficult. It's not adding additional bosses or anything like that. It's not adding additional content, so to speak. It's just making everything more difficult, which is fine. I think that's a perfectly reasonable way of making difficulty, is just make the enemies hit harder, have more HP. It's a pretty traditional, conventional method of making things more difficult. I don't mind games that make things more difficult by adding more features and more content, that kind of a deal. What I don't like, and what I've talked about before, is I don't like things being made difficult for the sake of difficulty. Like making an incredibly poorly designed enemy or encounter or boss fight or something that is just stupid hard because it's not fair. Like, I don't enjoy that at all. And I don't understand. I mean, I guess I kind of understand why people would enjoy doing that, because they want to be challenged to their maximum potential. But there's one really good example I can think of. There's this indie game on PC called Crypt of the Necrodancer. And the idea behind that is it's a rhythm style game, but it's all grid based. So you move around on this grid, but you need to move around and attack the monsters and everything to the beat of music that's playing. And you need to be in rhythm to get everything properly enacted. And I've only played it once. I played a demo of it. It's actually pretty enjoyable. I'm terrible at it. I can't imagine getting to the end of that game successfully. But at any rate, one of the things that game does for making things difficult for the sake of being difficult is there is a character you can unlock. I think his name is Coda. They're all musical themed things. Like the main character's like Melody or something. But anyway, this character, if they move or attack outside of the beat of the music, normally what will happen if you do that in the regular game is you'll like lose a heart. Like you'll lose like 1 point of HP, so to speak. If this character moves out of beat at all, they're instantly dead. No health point, just you lose, you're game over. Also, if this character picks up any money, and money is how you buy stuff, imagine that. Like upgrades and things. If this character picks up any money, they die instantly. So you're stuck with the most basic weapons, and you have to do it perfectly on beat every time, or you're just dead. And I'm like, who in their right mind would want to play this game that way? And come to find out, there are people who have beaten the game that way. And, like, 100% perfected it. And I'm like, what? Like, who are these people? I can't imagine being that skilled at something that I would be able to do something that impressive. And it is impressive to a certain extent, but it's also like, holy smokes, people have no lives. And maybe that's just me being judgmental, but at the same time, it's like, really? You just beat a game, like, basically a minimalist 0%, well, not 0% because they finished everything, but you're doing it a minimalist run, and it with absolutely zero leeway. Like, if you screw anything up, you just instantly die. And I think, also, by the way, there's something I might, that character is also, like, hardcore mode, in that if you die, you need to start all the way over. Like, you're just dead for good, and you gotta start over again. I'm fairly certain that's how that character works. Don't quote me on that, because I haven't played it in a very long time, and I don't know it all that well, but holy smokes. Like, that's, in my mind, the perfect example of difficulty for difficulty's sake. And why are these guys not dropping their bloody soul? Is this going to be Peeping Eye all over again? Because I don't have time for that. We got a boss to kill. And the worst part is I'm killing 2 of them at once, and I'm still not getting the bloody thing. What's annoying is they don't die in one hit either. I need to use at least 2 to kill them. But it's what it is, I guess. Muramasa is what they dropped. Oh, that's fun. I forgot about the Muramasa. I believe that is a sword that becomes more powerful the weaker you are. So imagine combining Muramasa with the Rubicon Soul at 1 HP. You'd be an absolute monster. Which I also believe is part of the strategy for speedrunners for Boss Rush. If you have Muramasa. Don't quote me on that, I think that's how it works. That's typically how Muramasa works in a lot of different games that it features in. Because the idea behind... It's hungry for blood. The idea behind Muramasa is that it's stronger... Or that it saps away the life of the wielder, basically. Because it's hungry for blood. It's like a cursed sword that steals the life of its... Why am I taking more damage now? Didn't I get stats up? Anyway, I'm going to use an item real quick. I got plenty of these. Let's pop one. I probably won't need very many of them going forward, if I'm being honest. The last boss to obtain the true ending is not difficult enough to warrant needing those. The boss that comes after that, maybe, but I'm not sure. I keep referring to this last boss as the last boss. He's not the final boss. There is actually 2 bosses after him. If you do the true ending. If you don't do the true ending, he is the last boss. So that's what I'm referring to that as. I'm not going to try to spoil anything because, well, I mean, you're going to see it soon anyway. And those of you who have played through this game already know, obviously, but... oh, I think that's it. Yep, there it is, finally. Alright, cool. So that is the last soul we needed. I could get Final Guard from the top floor too, but quite frankly, I don't want to sit here and try to grind him out right now. He's going to take too long, so we'll just move on. As I said previously, this will be part 1 of the finale, in that I'm going to get the true ending unlocked, or progressed towards, in that I will do everything required to obtain the true ending, and then we'll move on to the last area of the game. So there are still 4 souls that I need. 3 of them I can only obtain after the true ending has been unlocked. And 1 of them I could get now, but it's a lot easier if I just wait. So that's what we're going to do. And that would be the Final Guard. Obviously, you've seen that one. There is... I'm not going to ruin the enemies. We'll see the last 3 of them. They're pretty interesting, though. One of them, I guess, less interesting than the others, but that's okay. Let's get a save room here. And then we're going to go take on the last boss. and obtain the true ending. So let's get our required soul set up. We know from the ancient books that we need the Flame Demon soul. Where is he? Flame Demon. I got him a long time ago, that's why, because I'm going through everything else that I've gotten since then. Flame Demon, there he is. Giant Bat, we've already got that equipped, and Succubus we need also. Alright, and then equipment. We don't need the soul reading for the final boss. He does not drop a soul. So we can take that off and use something that'll give us a little more defensive advantage. The Satan's Ring is probably the best choice here, which sounds weird, but Eversing's still really good, so we'll do this. Alright, we're ready. And like I said, this boss is rather trivial, honestly. Even with subpar equipment, it's very easy to dodge the attacks of this boss. Wow, even when I attack candles, I get HP back with Succubus Soul. I didn't realize that. It's pretty funny, actually. Alright, so this is it, everybody. Moving on, this guard is going to let us through. And we will ascend the final staircase here. And go through this boss door. And this is it. And lo and behold, it's everybody, to the shock of nobody, it is Graham. We're too late. Dracula's power is already in his grasp. Oh, apparently someone doesn't care, though. All he cares about is finding a way out of the castle. You have property of mine. The souls of my demons. Yeah, this is where Graham goes a little extra bonkers. Oh, for love. Apparently the punishment for... Wow. Yeah. Soma's got a bit of a potty mouth. I sentence you to death. You're insane. Well, yeah, of course he is. You seen this guy? Like, look at his face. Come on, he's absolutely bonkers. Anyway, so Graham is a Dracula analog in that only his head is vulnerable in classic Castlevania style. So you just whack him in the head a few times, and as you can see, I'm doing quite a bit of damage to him. He's got a lot of HP too, but you see he does the same Flame Demon and Hellfire attacks that Dracula is known for, and he teleports all around the room, just like old school Dracula. And now he does this thing where he just summons the Hellfire balls around himself. Again, not that difficult to dodge, really. I'm just bad. I probably could just sit in one place and do this, but it's more fun to jump around. Yeah, see, I'm just bad. And then once you defeat that particular... We're already halfway done with this fight, by the way. So Graham is like, how did you possess this power? And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Graham is convinced he's Dracula. Then he turns into his second form, which... This is how you cheese this fight, by the way. If you just crouch, he can't hit you. Or at least not very easily. Those hands can't hit you. And then that laser thing just flies around on top, and as long as you dash out of the way, that doesn't hit you either. And then you just gotta whack him right in the center here where his face is. This is a really creepy looking monster thing, by the way, too. Like these two angels that are joined by their eyes with this halo, and then they're like their insides are together and apart, and it's kind of weird looking. Yeah, it's creepy as hell. So Graham has been defeated. That was stupidly easy, like I said. A very disappointing fight. I could have done that just as easily without the Cleave Soulish, honestly, as long as I had any kind of slashing weapon. It would have just taken a little longer. But that second form, it's as long as you crouch, you really can't be hit. And that's the really disappointing thing about it. So, at any rate, Graham is dead. We've defeated him. And Soma is now being overtaken by what appears to be all this energy that he absorbed. And because this would not be happening, by the way, if we had not equipped the proper set of souls for the final fight. So what we're seeing here is the start of the true ending of the game. If I had not equipped all those souls, then we would have beaten Graham, and that would have been the end of it. But now, this is happening. All of that dark energy that Graham had absorbed is flowing into Soma, and he's not okay with it. He doesn't like it. Can't imagine why. Also, that throne is really creepy with the bleeding eye statue and all the blood on the floor. So here we have the final reveal here. Soma realizing finally that, yeah, he is Dracula. And he knows Arikado is there. Also, he looks really creepy now. I don't know why his hair has to look different. I mean, I guess I get the whole his eyes are red now kind of deal, but... Your soul and Dracula's magical powers are one and the same. No matter what we did, this day was destined to come. I decided to awaken you somewhere where I could use my powers. The evil spirit must be flowing into you. Once you have finished absorbing all of it, his powers will truly be yours, and you'll become the evil count. That is why I chose the dangerous route. The evil in the spirit comes from those who seek chaos and destruction. We need to cut off the source of the chaos influencing the spirit. The castle is a product of Dracula's magic. It's a spiritual world. My point is this. A stream of chaos exists within this castle as well. There's a place where only you, Dracula, can go. That is where the chaos is. Where do I go? Where do I go once I get there? You have to stop it using your own strength. You've already succeeded in reaching the throne. I'm sure you can do it. Okay. If it'll make me myself again, I'll do whatever it takes. That's cool. As long as my power continues to affect this place, the flow of evil spirits into you will be slowed down. Go, quickly. So, you may be wondering, who the heck is this Arikado guy, and how does he have all this magical power, and how can he stop that? Well, you'll remember, here's the thing I wanted to get, by the way, that I really should have. This is the Black Panther soul. I know, right? Generate this... I really wish I'd gotten this before we went soul hunting because it makes things trivial. So I'm going to put that on because it's awesome. This uses hardly any magic, and it lets you dash around like this, like indefinitely. I can just do this the whole time I know, as long as I want. And I can actually dash through people, and it hurts them. Like, can you imagine how much easier everything would have been if I had just done this from the beginning? Yeah, I don't know why I didn't. At any rate, I'm going the wrong way. I just realized I'm supposed to go... Wait, no, I'm not. I'm not going the wrong way. We're fine. So now, there is a place that only Dracula can go that I have to go find. And those of you who have played this before know what I'm talking about, but some of the more astute of you already figured it out too, which is the one place in the castle I have not been to yet. And in order to get into that place, you need to unlock the true ending. Have some fire. I am Darkula. And anyway, so we're going to the area of the castle that I have not been to, the only spot in the castle I've not been to. And you'll see it is right there at the top, that one little gray square. And then also that little part of the floating gardens just below the save room that I didn't get to. If you try to go... I didn't show you guys because it was kind of pointless, but if you try to go there before you unlock the true ending, the door to that area will be encased in like this black miasma. And if you try to go through it, it'll push you away. Like, you can't get through it. So it's telling you, hey, you're not ready to go here yet, or you can't go here yet. And that's exactly the case. You can't go in there yet. But we're going to teleport here. I'm trying to think of the best place to go to get there quickly. Honestly, I might just be better off going up there from where I currently am instead of teleporting at all, because I don't want to go through the clock tower. So let's just go back up here. So this is part 1 of the finale, as I mentioned. We're going to continue this particular episode until I get to the last area of the castle. As I mentioned, there are 2 boss fights after Graham in the true ending. We're going to see one of them this episode, and then the very, very, very last boss in part 2 of the finale. So, once I defeat the next boss, the second to last one, that will get us to the last area of the castle, and then we'll pause this episode and move on to part 2 next time. This next boss fight is my favorite in all of Castlevania, and I mean that. It is legitimately one of the most entertaining, most challenging boss fights. And it's not challenging because it's cheesy or dumb. It's legitimately difficult, but it can be done if you're careful and you take your time. Which I like that kind of a boss fight. If that requires you to kind of think about it to do it properly, and I'm totally fine with it. We're going to keep Succubus equipped because it's actually very useful. All I need to do is kind of go straight across here, right? Maybe? Question mark? No, I got to go all the way down. Dagnabbit. That's alright. It shouldn't take that long to get across here, so... The problem is there's no quick and easy route to get to this final area of the castle once you beat Graham. Because, honestly, I think the game doesn't expect you to get the true ending. Which is why it's, it's prohibitively difficult to get to the final area, because it's like, nah, you're not going to do it. They give you the hints with the ancient books and everything, but as I mentioned when I first got them, it really isn't enough information for you to work that out, and I don't know how they expect you to figure it out if you don't already know. So I think the common wisdom with the developers is that most people would not get the true ending, even though it's by far the better one, and you're missing out on a good, or not a good chunk, but you're missing out on a whole area of the game if you don't do it. And that's annoying to me. I don't understand why developers would try to hide that from you. I would think they would do everything they could to encourage you to get the true ending. Even, like, make it challenging to get, but don't make it stupidly hard to figure out to the point where no one will get it. That just seems weird to me. Like, what's some examples of true endings that I can think of right now? There's a lot of games that I play that have multiple endings, but I'm kind of drawing a blank right now for some reason on ones that are less stupid to obtain, but still difficult. I guess, you know what? Smash is a good example. I know it just came out like maybe a month ago, but Smash Ultimate has a campaign mode called World of Light. So did you see that black miasma that was there? That just got repealed back because I can go through here now. This is the area I'm supposed to go. I'll talk more about that World of Light thing in a minute. We're going to do this boss fight because it's right through this door. Let me make sure I've got everything I need here. We're going to leave Black Panther on because it's actually going to be useful for this. Flame Demon's okay. We'll leave Succubus on. Actually, I might want to use Headhunter. Where is Headhunter? That's plus 14 to all my stats. That's pretty good. So that's an extra 7 defense. I don't know if it'll make that much of a difference, if I'm being honest. I'd rather just keep Succubus on. And then I've got Cleave Sullish, I've got Satan's Ring, I've got the Eversing. We're good. Yeah. Alright, let's do this. I'll talk more about true endings in World of Light once this boss fight's over. Stop! Uh-oh. It's Julius. I'm not what you think I am. I must destroy Dracula at any cost. It is my destiny, because my last name is Belmont, and therefore I have to. Oh boy. So yeah, this is the... Oh man, this is so much fun. This is the truly amazing part of this game right here, and you only get to do this fight if you want the true ending. You have to fight a freaking Belmont, because you are Dracula. And he is not an easy fight. Like, holy smokes. Even with as much power as I've acquired, as high the level as I am with all the good gear I have, he can still beat the ever-loving crap out of me. If you're not careful. Like, for real. It's not an easy fight at all. But it is very enjoyable, and it's not too challenging. It's not like cheap and stupid and unfair. It's really fun. So here we go. And also, by the way, this is the best music in the whole game, so pay attention to that. In typical Belmont fashion, Julius does have the Vampire Killer Whip, and it hits like a truck. That little thing you just saw him like phasing out of existence for a second, that is a special move that only he has. It's called Omnia Vanitas, I think is how you pronounce that. He gets to use that in Harmony of Despair too. You'll see that whip is absolutely murdering me. Julius is not vulnerable to anything. He has no weaknesses. And you'll notice that when I'm hitting him with my holy sword, you're not seeing that holy glint on the sword. That's because Julius actually resists holy because, well, he's a freaking vampire hunter. Ow! Good lord. What I could be doing is dashing into him with Black Panther because that actually negates a lot of his attacks when I do that. So you're saying I just kind of jump around and hit him with that. It does damage to him. It doesn't do a lot, but it does enough. And it helps me get out of the way of his whip easier. But that whip actually has a lot more range on it than you'd think. And again, even at as high level as I am, he's doing close to 70 damage a hit with that thing. And it's messing me up. Ow, good lord. And you see, I'm wailing on him quite a bit, and he's not flinching. He's taking an absolute beating. And another thing you might have noticed, he's using the Omnia Vanitas, he's using his jump kicks, he's using his whip, but something he is not doing, like typical Belmont fashion, is all of the sub-weapons that Belmonts usually have in other Castlevania games. Fun fact, he does have those, he's just not using them yet. And another thing, oh geez, that jump kick hurts a lot too. I might need to use a potion here before too long. But yeah, this fight is really, really cool. I'm actually going to chill out a second so you listen to the music, because it's really cool. Oh crap. So now he's using Grand Cross, but I have to Black Panther away from because it's pulling me into it. And if he hits you with that, it does a ton of damage. Now that he's past, that's the halfway point, by the way, is when he uses Grand Cross. He only does it once, but now that he's past that halfway point, he'll start using sub-weapons. So you saw the Boomerang Cross for a second there. He's going to use Omnia Vanitas a lot, apparently, too. There's the axes that he prefaces with a little glint from his hand. That's Holy Fire, or Holy Water, rather. Those are all the typical... That's the triumvirate of Belmont sub-weapons. The axe, the Holy Fire, or the Holy Water. I keep saying fire. Holy Water and the Boomerang Cross. He won't do Grand Cross anymore, but he still does his whip. He still does Omnia Vanitas. He still does the jump kicks. So he just gets even harder after that halfway point. And if that Grand Cross hits you, by the way, it straight up murders you, I'm pretty sure. Ow! Jeez. Freaking Boomerang Cross, man. That's what gets me every time. Alright, I'm going to use a potion real quick, because I'm going to get dead otherwise. Julius is by far the hardest boss fight in this game. The last boss does not hold a candle to him. Neither does Graham, obviously, but you already saw that. Oh, I beat him. So yeah, that boss fight, super duper fun. I love that boss fight. I wish I could do it more often. You know what I should have done was, like, made a save state before I went into that fight, and then I could just do it over again. But that's okay. Hard mode Julius, by the way, is pants-crappingly difficult. Oh yeah, here's the funny thing too, is he was going easy on me the whole time. Now Belmont is far stronger than that. Yeah, Julius won't actually fully unkill us because he knows Soma's still in there. If I lose the battle and become the reincarnation of evil, I want you to kill me. Yep, don't worry, I got you. Don't let me use that whip again, is what he says. So now we've beaten Julius, and we have access to the last spot on the castle. You'll see we are at 99.8%. Did I miss a room? Oh, don't tell me I missed a room. That's gonna drive me bonkers if I find out I missed a room. Anyway, we go in here. There's this weird eclipse thing, and that teleports us... Oh, okay, we got 100%. That was the last little spot. Alright, cool. So, where we are now, you'll see there's no map anymore, because we're not actually in the castle any longer. We are in the chaotic realm. And this is where all of Dracula's power stems from, is this separate dimension that is just full of nothing but chaos. And so, only Dracula can come here, and we have to confront the source of all this chaos in this realm. And that is the final boss. So, now that we're in the chaotic realm, we're going to call this the halfway point for the finale, so I'm going to call it right here. But we will explore the chaotic realm and grab the last couple of souls that we need in the next episode, which will be part 2 of the finale. So, until that time, thank you very much for sticking with me this far. It's been a real fun ride so far, and we're at the final part. So, one more episode, that'll be the finale, like I said. We'll grab the last couple of souls. We will grab the neat little Easter egg you get for getting all the souls. You actually do get something. And then we'll do the final boss and get the true ending of the game. So, until that time, thank you all very much for watching. As I said, I really do appreciate it. Have a great evening, everyone. This has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.